Being mad at God, my friends, has many flavors, many layers. At first, we want to say, "Oh, God, why did you let that happen?" And then there is a process, and we perhaps, if we don't understand and find the answer, that we start pulling away and becoming detached. We don't like him anymore. But then when we start facing our anger again, perhaps we want to spit and accuse. We want to blame God because we feel he's blaming us. But then when we realize he's gracious and has forgiven us, and when we realize that he has taken the anger of the world upon himself, then sharing our anger becomes more objective, less vitriolic, and has a healing effect. That's what we're learning this week, my friends. Colin Cook here, and How It Happens. Thank you for joining me in this new series, I Believe, but I'm Mad at God. Now, when you learn and come to accept, my friend, that God has had anger too, but that he has taken all of that anger and absorbed it into himself in the person of his Son, so that he propitiated, that is, appeased, took away, quietened down, subdued his own anger. When you begin to learn all that, and when you believe it, then your anger towards God takes on a different tone. It's a different color in some way. It's somehow not there to accuse. Maybe you're familiar with anonymous groups and programs, or you're familiar with the idea of confronting your abuser. Let's suppose you go to counseling and your counselor encourages you to talk all about your past. And then when you've shared it with your counselor, he encourages you to write it down. And write down all the abuse and the pain and the anger that you feel towards your abuser. And he invites you, your counselor, to bring this written material into the counseling room when you're ready, when you've finished it. And at first, you find that your writing is very angry, very vicious. It's broken in sentence because it's spitting out venom and fury towards the one that has harmed you. But then, as you keep talking it through with your counselor, you slowly, and you keep writing more and expanding on what you've already written, you find that you're calming down, and the writing, even though angry, is not so immediate. I mean, it's not as if the abuse were taking place right there and then as you're writing it down. No, it took place decades earlier, let's say, and you're a little more detached from it now, and the more you write, the more you're detached. Not indifferent, but removed from the immediate passion of pain. Now, when that happens, perhaps your counselor says to you, "Well, how would you like to write a letter to your abuser?" Let's suppose he's still alive. And you write this letter, and you're more able to be objective now. You're hurt, you're angry, but you're not there to sort of kill him with words. You're not there to cast such darkness upon him that it won't solve anything. And so, you're ready to write the letter, and perhaps you're ready to send it. And after you've sent the letter, perhaps you're ready, if the person is willing, the other person, the other party, to visit him. And you might start by saying something like this: "I'm not here to blame you anymore. I'm not here to accuse you. I'm simply here to let you know how hurt I was. And that's what I need to do in order to get beyond this situation I'm in." Now, friends, we're all familiar, or at least some of us are familiar with that kind of dynamic that goes on when you face your abuser and you start writing down all the abuse and what it has meant to you. A slow process of detachment so that you're not there to verbally kill him and verbally blame him anymore. You're simply there to deal with your own issue of hurt and pain. Now you see, that is true with God, but for a different reason. That is true in how we work this out with God. Now, in the case of our abuser, we don't know whether he has apologized or is ready to apologize. He may still be in his terrible darkness. But we know that God has already taken his own judgment upon himself. We know that our Heavenly Father has taken all of the sorrow and grief and the revolt and fury and evil of the world. He has judged himself for it instead of us. And that somehow has a quieting effect upon the mind. It takes away the brunt of our anger. We want to hurt God before we know this. We want to abuse him just as he, we think, has abused us. But we don't want to do it now. Something has happened. And so we're more able to say to God, Lord, I'm not so mad anymore at you, I'm just hurt. I realize you've taken all the judgment of all the sorrow and evil of the world upon yourself. I didn't know that before, Lord, and it's a stunning truth and a wonderful reality. I didn't know you could be so kind. I didn't know you could be so forgiving. And so, you see, I don't now have to deflect or project blame upon God. I don't need to say, I'm mad at you, and really I'm mad at myself and simply trying to blame it on you so I don't feel so bad. No, I'm not mad at you anymore in that way. I don't have to project my own guilt upon you because I know you're not charging me with guilt anymore. You're not charging me with sin. You have forgiven me, you've forgiven the world. You've taken all the judgment of the world upon yourself. So, dear God, it's a bit different now. When I'm talking to you about this, I don't feel the same. I simply feel I have to share the hurt with you, dear God. And it's kind of different. And perhaps there comes to your mind the words of Jesus. Come to me, all you who work hard and are worn down, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now, you know what this yoke thing is all about, right? In those eastern countries, 2 oxen would be plowing a field, and they were supposed to walk together, but often they got off track. So they would put a wooden sort of ring around one of the oxen's neck, the neck of one of the oxen, and then there'd be a bar attached to that ring that would be attached to another ring that the other oxen would wear around his neck. So they would be walking together. And basically Jesus is saying, come to me, all you who work hard and are worn down, and I will give you rest. Let's walk together and learn from me. Because I'm gentle and lowly in heart, I'm not going to yank on that yoke and make your throat hurt and yank your neck and give you a stiff neck or a crick in your neck or something. You'll find rest when you walk together with me. Because my yoke, my attachment is easy. I don't put a burden on you, I lift you. And my burden is light. So you think of God in this way, and you think, oh boy, do I really have cause to be mad at God anymore? Yes, but there are still hurts that I have, and there are still things that I don't understand, and I don't get why he wasn't helping me in my childhood, or why he didn't come through for me. Yes, you have all those issues, and they hurt, and you need to understand. But now there's an ingredient missing, And it is the desire to be vindictive towards God. It is the desire to poke him as you feel he has poked you. It is the desire to get back at God. That has gone away or goes away incrementally as you recognize more deeply day by day that he has taken judgment upon himself instead of placing it upon you. Now, this is where I come back to that issue of, if you ask God, why didn't he do this and come through for you, you won't get an answer. And I know I might have upset some of you at that point, and you might have wanted to stop listening. But what I'm saying, my friends, is that you won't get answers, but you will get satisfaction. Somehow, when you know that God is listening and not angry with you while you're telling all of these things of disappointment about him and hurt, when you know that he's not wanting to accuse you, there will be the presence of grace in the conversation that you have with God and the listening that God has towards you. He will be understanding. He will be hearing your pain. He will say, I hear you, my son, my daughter. I know what you went through, and my heart grieved deeply for you too. I was with you in that abuse. I had my arm around you. I was bringing you to myself through that abuse. I knew that one day, because of that abuse, you would call out to me, and I would comfort you. I long to comfort you. And so, in the telling of your abuse, there will be a strange presence of comfort, which will surprise you, and you will find it a healing thing. It will not give you the answer why, but it will give you the what of satisfaction that you are being heard, and in that there is healing. I'm looking for just 9 new partners now, my friend, for this broadcast. We got a wonderful response from a gentleman just the other day. What are partners of this broadcast? In fact, partners to the whole ministry of Faith Quest Perspectives, which has not only a radio broadcast, but also a website, faithquestradio.com, and the quarterly seminars and the monthly CD that goes out to you and the counseling that is available to you, and also the Monday night meeting in the Englewood area of Denver that's also available to you. So, my friends, a partner is someone who chooses to support the ministry, who likes the broadcast, who's found that it is training his faith, and he wants to keep this broadcast and all the ministry going. You might choose to donate at $20 a month, or $30, or $50, or $100, or $10, or $5, or $200, or more, or less, whatever fits your budget. And you simply send your first donation, and then you're a partner. It's as easy as that. Then I send you my Cook's Monthly Message, which is on the book of Hebrews at present, as a thank you, unless you wish no literature, please. And remember, these donations are tax deductible. I will send you a receipt at the beginning of the new year. So if you want to send a donation, please help. 9 more partners, please, this month. Send it to Faith Quest, P.O. Box 366, Littleton, Colorado 80160. Or you can do it by PayPal. Go to the website faithquestradio.com. Or by card. Call me at 303-738-8694. The address again, Faith Quest, P.O. Box 366, Littleton, Colorado 80160. The PayPal, faithquestradio.com. Thanks. I'll see you next time, my friends. Cheerio and God bless.